Hello and welcome everyone to the Gold and Silver Club end of week review for the 25th of April 2014, presented by myself, Phil Carr, and Nick Housey at the Gold and Silver Club. Today we will be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We'll be analysing the week's performance. The live session will cover an end of week summary for commodities, gold, silver, oil, natural gas and coffee. We'll be looking at the top trade of the week. We'll cover live market commentary and technical analysis. We'll also look at the week ahead, so key events looking forward, and of course we'll be answering any questions you may have too. So gold prices this week, we fill you in on the fundamentals here. So gold prices have rallied as Russia has sent troops to the Ukraine border. Gold prices rose for a second straight session on Thursday to settle at their highest level in a week from an earlier 2.5-month low, as intensifying tensions between Russia, Ukraine boosted safe haven demand for the precious metal. Now, new violence in Ukraine over the last 24 hours has helped fuel a rally in gold. News reports on Thursday said Russia had launched extensive military exercises near the Ukrainian border. On Thursday, Ukrainian forces killed up to 5 pro-Moscow rebels during an anti-separatist operation in eastern Ukraine. And the Russian President Vladimir Putin warned of consequences in the event of Ukrainian military action against the separatists. Russia maintains that it has the right to protect the Russian-speaking population if it comes under attack. And in response, Russia launched extensive military exercises on the border with Ukraine, and NATO officials estimated there are about 40,000 Russian troops gathered at the border. So gold prices were trading at 2.5-month lows just yesterday in the afternoon at $1,268 an ounce when the news reports emerged. Within minutes, gold price broke out, began to soar, reaching a high of $1,298 an ounce. So that's a 300-point move to the upside within a very short period of time, climbing 2.3% within the US trading session. In addition, we also saw WTI prices climbed in response to the escalating violence in the region during the US trading session. WTI rose 0.59% to trade at 102.04 per barrel, whilst Brent crude oil followed suit, climbing 1.22% to $110.45 a barrel. So we've got a lot to look at today in terms of the technicals. It's been a very active week this week on the markets. So before we do so and move over to the technicals, I'm Phil Carr, professional trader, trainer and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the most lucrative financial markets in the world: gold, silver, oil, natural gas, commodity currencies. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders and successfully manage their own investment portfolio. I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. Also a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speak at numerous trading seminars, webinars and workshops. Joining me in running the Gold and Silver Club is Nick Housey, professional trader, investment analyst and speaker. Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. And prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, Nick spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and investment banks. And through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders, discovered the formula, mindset and tools that give any individual the definitive edge to trade in any economy. Also regularly writes for a number of global business and financial publications, and we've appeared frequently on financial television. That's some background on the Gold and Silver Club. And now what we'll look at now is the gold price at the moment. So currently the price of gold is in fact trading at $1,295 an ounce. So it's right near the weekly highs. We'll take a look at that very shortly on the technicals. Before we do so, the top trade of the week this week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies was in fact a very fast trade that we had yesterday on oil. We had a perfect setup for this. You can see the risk on that trade was 35 points, $350 risk for each lot we traded, for a reward of 120 points, $1,200 profit for each lot, for a 3-to-1 risk to reward yesterday, which was helped certainly by the breaking news from Ukraine and Russia yesterday. We saw gold spike, wheat spiked, and Brent crude oil as well. So let's move over. We'll take a look at the technicals and what we can expect later today, and also moving into next week as well. So I will share my other screen. So we'll go through some live market technical analysis, and we'll go through the top 6 announcements which we expect to affect the markets next week. We are still in the downward trending. We do have a downward trending channel which has been forming on gold more recently. We are still holding below some key moving averages, so this could be a failed move. If we can't break above 1300 here today and moving into next week, we may just see gold reverse. Tensions may quiet down in Russia and Ukraine. The safe haven trade, which caused a 300-point move to the upside yesterday, may reverse, and we could see gold just come back down with this downtrend. However, if things do escalate in Russia, we may see more of the safe haven bid. So that's the key technical level to be looking at the moment, say the 1300 level there. See if we get a breakout, see if we get a close above that level by the end of today or into next week. If we can't and it's a failed move at 1300, we may just see the market just come back down or reverse and come back down 1287, 1277 and then take out 1268 as we go into the month of May. If we look at silver, silver broke some supports yesterday and also capitulated on news which came out of Russia and Ukraine. We can see we actually had a spike up to, we do have a resistance channel and a support channel which has been forming on the silver market. You can see where we've been really ricocheting between that support resistance channel, downward trending channel. We still remain below a lot of key moving averages for silver here. Similar situation to gold. We really need to see how silver is going to react, how it's going to close today and how it's going to move into next week. You can see there's a nice hammer which is formed on the weekly as well. If that gets confirmed to the upside next week, we may see some bullish momentum. However, if it can't break out, the key level really for us to break out here on silver will be yesterday's high that we spiked up to, which is 1991. So if we get a break above that level, we may see some stronger moves next week up towards the 2020 level and also the 2050 level, and ultimately start making a move towards a 200-day moving average. At the moment, silver is still within that downward trend. We really need to wait for confirmation, see how the market is going to close this week, and certainly see how we are going to move forward into early next week, whether we're going to break above 1990 here and above 20, or whether we're just going to reverse and come back to the downward trending channel again. If we look at copper, copper's been very interesting this week. We've been discussing this a lot on previous weeks, that copper has been just trying to form a bottom here. We had a V-shaped reversal and it's continued to slowly but surely work its way out. We caught some great trades in copper this week. We've now finally had that breakout. We were looking, if you take a look at the weekly again, we've got a breakout above the last 3 weeks of highs. So 3.0721 was a very key level to break. We're just settling around a key moving average at the moment. And you can see there's a Fibonacci level just there as well to 3.0856 where the market is finding some support. So we'll be very interested again to see if copper can hold on to these gains into next week and whether it can really start to make a move back up to the next key level 3.151 and then 3.217. But we have been long this market for quite some time as it's tried to work its way out of a bottom here, and it's finally broken out this week. If we move over to some of the soft commodities, we'll take a look at the wheat market. Wheat has been a really nice move. We saw we had some earlier trades on this earlier in the week, which have now really come to deliver some good profits, especially on the fundamentals yesterday. Ukraine and Russia, particularly Ukraine, being one of the world's largest suppliers of wheat. And we saw a big breakout to the upside yesterday on the news, which broke through, which affected gold, of course, as well. So we saw that really nice move to the upside on wheat. If we take a look at the weekly again, we're looking pretty strong here as we close the week. Nice hammer here for the close. And into next week, I'll be looking to really take out the highs here, probably around about 695.68 and just above that at the 698.96 level. So that's what I'll be looking at for wheat. We do like this. Definitely there's a bullish momentum to wheat at the moment. We're staying with that upward trending channel. We had a bit of a pullback towards the beginning of the week, but this is looking good to revert back into its main channel here for the time being. If we look at the corn market, corn, very similar situation as well, continuing to move higher here on corn. And if we take a look at the weekly, we're still staying within this very strong upward trending channel on the weekly here as corn. So looking really to break out from some key levels into next week. If we can get above 508 and 512, we should get a run towards the 2014 highs of 518.58. That's what we'll be looking for. Coffee also made a nice move earlier on this week. Coffee did break out to 2-year highs, 2014 highs. You take a look at the daily, we're getting previous resistance is now becoming support, and we're looking for a further move up to 228.35. We get a continued move to the upside here on coffee. Coffee, very strong upward trending channel, over 50% move so far in 2014. Coffee's a great market, and yeah, we've just had really a good time trading these breakouts. So we're looking here for another move to break out from this week's high at 216.84 here on the coffee market. As we move over to some of the energies here as well, what I want to note here, we'll have a look. Well, first of all, we'll start off with Brent crude oil. Brent crude oil delivered us a really strong setup yesterday, again on the Ukrainian situation. We got a nice spike up in oil in the afternoon, which delivered a 100-point move. Actually, I think it's 114 points or so on that. Let me just double check that on our top trade. That's it, 120 points that we received. So we've had a really nice breakout to the upside to that Fibonacci. You can see how well the Fibonacci just provided resistance there. We're getting a little bit of consolidation now, a bit of a pullback today, some profit taking. We're still remaining in a strong upward trending channel. If you take a look at Brent, Brent does follow trend lines pretty well. We've got a nice trend line which has been running for quite a while here on the Brent market. So we may come down and retest the 109.50 level before we see higher prices here on Brent. Getting a little bit of profit taking today. If we move over to WTI finding support at the 50-day MA and also Fibonacci level. Also had a nice little spike up yesterday. Not as good as Brent, but WTI did get a nice move to the upside on yesterday's news. We're continuing to consolidate a little bit today on the WTI market here. I'd probably be looking more at natural gas for the time being. Natural gas did manage to break out of its 2-month lows here. You've got a nice V-shaped pattern here as well, as it's causing a low here. Let me just draw that on the weekly. And we can see that we did break out of the resistance channel just here. We've got a resistance Fibonacci at 4.760. So we're looking for a nice breakout as we go into next week here. We did get a little bit of a breakout. Market is probably going to be a similar move to what we've seen on copper as we just slowly but surely reach higher prices here with natural gas. We need to really get it close above 4.739, target 4.842, and get above to about the 5.000 levels. So if you look at copper had a similar move, just took a while to actually work its way out of that channel. Natural gas seems like it wants to do the same at the moment based on those technicals this week, as well as the softs. The softs are fantastic. Wheat, coffee, corn, these are all fantastic markets to be in at the moment, getting huge moves in 2014. So I'll tell you what we'll do now. We'll move over to the key news announcements you want to watch as we go into next week. The 6 key announcements as we go into non-farm payroll week. So the week ahead, we've got key events. First of all, Monday, 28th of April, we've got US pending home sales, 3 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, pending home sales reports measures the change in the number of homes under contracts to be sold, but still waiting for the closing transaction. So it's the 3 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar. A lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. Next Tuesday, 29th of April, 3 p.m. GMT, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US consumer confidence. That report measures the level of consumer confidence in economic activity. It's a leading indicator as it can predict consumer spending, which plays a major role in overall economic activity. So a high reading points to high consumer optimism, and a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar, then which will inversely affect gold and silver. Next Wednesday, 30th of April, 1:30 p.m. GMT, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we've got US GDP. That is the gross domestic product, measuring the annualized change in the inflation-adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. It is the broadest measure of economic activity and the primary indicator of the economy's health. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, and a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. Then as we move into next week, we have on Wednesday, 30th of April, US crude oil inventories at 3:30 p.m. GMT, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That data reports a number of barrels of crude oil commercial firms have in inventory. Commercial firms report their inventory levels to the Energy Information Administration on a weekly basis. Very lucrative trade every week on a Wednesday. A higher than expected reading is normally taken as bearish for crude oil, and a lower than expected reading is taken as bullish. Next Thursday, 1st of May, of course, we've got the US natural gas storage inventories at 3:30 p.m. GMT, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And the Energy Information Administration, the EIA natural gas storage report, measures the change in the number of cubic feet of natural gas held in underground storage during the past week. Whilst that is a US indicator, it tends to have a greater impact also on the Canadian dollar. And next Friday, 2nd of May, we have US non-farm payrolls at 1:30 p.m. GMT, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Non-farm payroll measures the change in the number of people employed during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. Job creation is, of course, the foremost indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for the majority of economic activity. And a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, and a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish, which will definitely inversely affect gold and silver. If you would like to find out more about how to really take your trading to the next level and find out about our upcoming trader workshops, we actually, I believe we're fully booked for May now, but if you want to find out more about upcoming workshops, how to join the live trading room, get access to our exclusive international forum of live traders, you can find out more on the numbers on the screen there. Just London. You can call our, depending on where you are in the world, you can call us at our London office, our New York office, our Johannesburg office, or our Budapest office, or very simply email us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com, or go to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com to request more information about our coaching programs. And of course, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. You'll get free weekly gold, silver, oil, natural gas, commodity currency news, live market analysis and prices. So with that, that is a wrap for today, everyone. I wish you good luck for your trading, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here same time next week. So take care, everybody. Bye for now.